Hi guys, it's Anthony Molinaro.
Timothy Jagger from O'Brien Real Estate with the 7th edition of the Monthly Property News for 2022, where real estate information is on the house. The Australian Government released its first findings of a starter release that we had from the census in August 2021. There were some key findings so far from that census from a real estate perspective. The first being the huge number of unoccupied properties across Australia. This no doubt impacts on prices paid by buyers and renters as there is a shortage of properties due to owners choosing to keep properties vacant. The second finding that relates to real estate is the increasing trend of single-parent families and how this places pressure on housing, but also the cost of living, having one income source.
CoreLogic released its June Home Value Index, and nationally prices for all dwellings were down 0.6%, with Sydney falling the most with a 1.6% drop and Melbourne a 1.1% drop. Melburnians now have a median home price below $800,000 for both units and houses, sitting at just over $798,000. Unit prices, again, as we saw last month, are holding their value more than houses, falling 0.6% compared to 1.3%. And the pullback on prices so far this year has been small, particularly when you consider that AXS has fallen 18%. Prices, as we know, across the food, building and energy industry have all spiked due to supply chain issues, and we are also seeing how supply affects pricing in real estate too. For example, Melbourne and Sydney still remain 8% and 7% above 2021 stock levels, whereas Adelaide and Brisbane, which have all dramatically increased in price over the last 12 months, are sitting at 16.9% and 14.9% down on stock levels respectively. In regional Victoria, we saw our first drop back in prices since June 2020 with a 0.1% decline for combined dwellings, which places the median home price a little over $595,000.
Looking at the rental market, rents nationally ended the financial year at 9.5% above the previous 12 months. We certainly do have a very tight rental market, and rents in Melbourne from a unit perspective is leading all capital cities in price growth with a 10.9% increase in rents. Homes in Melbourne are quite different though, with only a 5.2% increase. We believe this lacklustre performance has been caused partly by the Residential Tenancies Act changes introduced in March 2021. But we believe rents will now increase more due to rental providers now meeting the minimum standard criteria for a rental property.
And lastly, for this month's edition, the question we will need to ask ourselves: if we are sellers in today's market, are we at the peak right now? Because what we know and what we might be seeing on the horizon is more interest rate rises, and not just in July, but with financial commentators predicting another rise, Tim, in August. It could be a question worth pondering: is now the time to be acting? Now that's all for this month. I'm Anthony Molinaro.
And I'm Timothy Jagger. And remember, the information provided is of a general nature. You should always seek independent legal, financial, taxation, or other advice in relation to your unique circumstances.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this month's Market Wrap, and until next month, it's bye for now.